Oh, GG.
GG.
I had no fear.
Yes.
Well played.
Okay, I pull up and
Alright,
download.
well, it didn't hit anyone, we'll just keep going. Alright, so DarkLord's really trying to go crazier with bots. Seems to be working out somewhat for him. Elden's Sacred Blade, but trades for the glintstone sword. DarkLord whiffs a running attack and then gets punished by 2 slicers. Okay, pull up is playing a little bit aggressive here, and it seems to be working out.
Oh,
And DarkLord switching to
GG.
Katana.
Many controls.
DarkLord.
who started?
Yeah, it started. Okay, I'll
Okay.
start it again. What?
Oh, no problem.
A little bit of a slow start here. Alright, they both have the physics up. DarkLord immediately trying to go in with Stormblade. He gets tipped with a slicer. DarkLord seems to having a little bit of trouble getting some attacks in here. But he's landing a lot of trades. Going for a lot of ranged attacks. I really like the wave dash slicer that I pull up has got going on. With the carry and piercer mix up. He's been able to land that pretty consistently this round, or this setting. Definitely trying to get him Stormblade, but not really landing so much anymore. And the Wiggle Estelle comes out. We're both trading range action people and range archers.
Nice dodge.
Are you getting for the Stormblade? Roll caught him for 1. And tried to go for another series of 2 attacks. Work out too well. DarkLord again with the Rancor pods.
Oh,
Critical when you successfully skip attacks.
Oh,
And more ranged attack.
Damn.
GG.
GG.
I don't have much experience with
Goodbye.
mice.
Nice.
He got him cornered.
Alright.
Alright, here we go. So it looks like a Zweihander mirror. They both start with the running attack. That's quite the match. Alright. Going for some rolling pokes. Gary gets hit by a rolling poke and goes for a standing R1 and ends it on Mizu. So a Zweihander mirror without the wave dashing. I foresee a lot of trades. Mostly just missing the attacks here. Oh, aKkirAa lands an attack on Mizu, and Mizu lands a jump attack. They go for another trade. Mizu lands for a jump attack.
What? Alright.
Nice.
That was fast.
Lands the
GG.
R2. Nice. Alright, yeah, it looks ready now. I think we'll both go for the running out and because they're more roll pokes. aKkirAa lands the standing R1 again. It looks like Mizu is going for a little bit of crouching there. But both going for repeated roll pokes and standing R1s. aKkirAa gets hit by another roll poke. He rolls this one, goes for his zone, but misses. Oh, it looks like Mizu pulls out a hammer.
And shield.
Tries to parry a ultra great sword two-handed R1, which is not going to work out for him. Yeah. aKkirAa lands more standing R1s as a roll catch. And Mizu is also landing him. It seems that
GG.
Mizu also
Nice.
tier
GG.
skipped.
Go.
Let's see. They do not go for the running attack to start this time. They both go for jump. One Orlan gets hit by a jump attack. And lands the R2 on aKkirAa rolling behind him. Both exchanging roll pokes and not really landing any of them. But Orlan gets hit by a standing R1 from aKkirAa. Going for that lightning slash. No trades, just interrupting each other here. aKkirAa goes for the R2, but does not land it this time. Just barely out of range. Oh, aKkirAa gets a little slide with movement and gets hit for it. But lands a successful rolling R1. aKkirAa gets roll caught by a standing R1. Very back and forth here. Both landing one hit after the other. aKkirAa gets roll caught. They go for another trade.
Nice.
Nice.
GG.
Nice. GG.
Alright, aKkirAa wins this set.
Clive is not banned.
Alright, so they're both starting out with Sacred Blade. a bit interesting. Let's see. Let me check the player name. Let me take damage. Alright, let's see. So, Skary is running right-hander off-loaded. This is a very interesting choice, but it seems to do pretty high damage. Verypatto is running Sacred Blade, Bandit's Curse Sword, and kind of on the back foot here after trying to go for some trades, but even the trades are not yielding like decent damage against a Sacred Blade. I'm guessing Holy right-hander? I can't tell if it's infused or not. So far, Skary is definitely in a significant HP lead here. Just going for trades and heavily out-damaging Patto. Patto's trying to play a bit aggressive, but it's kind of hard considering that Skary can just go for a trade and win in the damage. Skary going for another trade, but it's not really working out for him. So this time he trades with the off-coded, so it's less egregious damage. And Skary lands the reverse backstep attack. And still ends the fight with their tier.
Go!
Alright, so Patto successfully gets their Sacred Blade off, and Skary tries to go for a roll catch to land Sacred Blade, but Patto manages to double roll out of it. Patto using throwing knives to get rid of the talisman buff. Skary is playing very safe here with using the off-coded for whiff punishes. Oops, Skary gets roll caught by a curved sword running R1. Manages to wave dash to cause Patto to panic a bit. A little bit of skipping there, it looks like.
Oh! Maybe connection issue.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they say. There he is. Alright, both of them getting Sacred Blade off right at the start. Patto misses the jumping R2 and gets roll caught afterwards by the right-hander R1. They both dodge out of some exchanged attacks there. Oh, Patto getting quite a few hits in the corner. So Patto's in the lead here. Lands a jumping R2. Skary's trying to keep out Patto with some off-coded attacks, but it's not really working. And the jumping R2 is stunning out of attacks, so he's not even getting trades here. They both have their tiers for the meantime. Oh, it looks like Skary lost their tier. Patto goes for an up-close frost splat, but their opponent has too much resistance against frostbite to work. Skary getting hit by a lot of jumping R2s from the curved sword this round. Looks like a little bit of skipping there. I think they're going to... There's a significant skip. Yeah. Alright, Skary landing a nice whiff punish right to start up the match. And Patto is skipping quite a bit.
No! It keeps teleporting.
Yeah, maybe a connection problem with that player.
Either connection or their games crashed again.
Maybe. I think he's no longer with us.
Why? It's still here.
Let's see what's going on.
Go.
Alright, so it looks like Ellie is running a whip, and see, I think their in-game name is something Chad. Yeah, Dominic Chad is running an aKkirAa with
Oh, you
his
have
axe.
advantage.
Ellie's got a whole bleed wave dash whip setup going on, which is going to make it very hard for Dominic to really do anything at all. The range the whip has is just going to be able to mostly deal with just about every attack the axe has. But we'll have to see if Dominic can make use of that aKkirAa. Alright, so Ellie's just looking for any small opening they can get here, and just backing off to get safe whiff punishes. Oh, bleed proc? That was very, very nice, very fast.
Oh, brutal. Easy.
GG.
His whip setup is pretty solid.
Go.
Alright, so Dominic's starting with Y-handed this time instead of the axe, which is probably a much better choice, though it's still going to be difficult to use against the whip. Immediately starting with a giant hunt out of neutral, and going for a second giant hunt, but due to the long recovery, gets punished by 2 whip attacks. Ellie playing very, very safe here with the bleed wave dash whip. Now Dominic going for two-handed SrkiBoy06 I don't know what that's that. The strike dagger. Landing a little bit of a chip there, but it's going to be hard to get into the range of the whip with a dagger. But if he can get in, it's easy to keep Ellie to back up, but it's not going so well for Dominic here. Just getting outranged and out damaged. Dominic switching to Claymore. Going for a piercing fang. Lands a follow-up attack.
Wow.
And Ellie uses lightning ram to finish them off.
Oh, nice.
GG.
It's quite the finisher.
Go.
Alright, so Dominic's sticking with his right hander this time and backing off into the corner at the start. Ellie going for more wave dash crouch art ones. Dude, Dominic doesn't really know what to do in this situation with this matchup. Ellie's playing very, very safe with a very low recovery weapon. It has a lot of range. Oh, Ellie goes for a jump R2 read. Dominic tries to go for Giant Hunt again, but gets whiff punished by the whip. Oh, Dominic runs a R1. Ellie backing off here to try and let's just keep playing as safe as possible. Dominic goes for the running R2 and lands a follow-up R1. Ellie reaction rolls the Giant Hunt, drops to a dagger for a second, and then goes back to whip. Ellie's just waiting for Dominic to make a mistake here, I believe. Trying not to get into any trades. Dominic goes for another Giant Hunt, and Ellie fails the backstab and gets punished for it very slightly. Dominic's tier just broke. Ellie wave dashing over, trying to cause some pressure. Dominic trying to keep Ellie away, but almost gets backstabbed there. Ellie's fishing for a backstab finish. But gets hit for it. Seems Ellie's right in range of having lost their tier very soon. One more hit will probably do the trick if they don't get tier skipped. Oh, there goes Ellie's tier. Ellie's still playing a little bit unusually here. Not playing nearly as safe as before and seemingly going for something a little stylish. Dominic also trying to play very passive here. Dominic goes for another giant hunt and gets tipped very slightly for it.
Uli, please stop!
Dominic getting very, very slowly tipped with the whip. Can only survive a couple more attacks for this game. We go for the blade, crouch R1, and look for the follow-up crouch R1. Very nice.
Nice, GG.
GG. Go.
It's Seva with Zweihander off-coded and Bean with, what is that, Guitar off-play? I haven't seen a setup that cursed in quite a while. I'm interested to see what he does with it though. Alright, so Bean's trying to look for an opportunity here and Seva's trying to keep him out. Bean lands a few clean hits with the guitar, but then gets clipped by an R1 right after. I like Bean's fashion setup. Actually, I like both the fashion setups here, to be honest.
Both those are clean.
Now that they're perfect.
Uh-huh.
But Bean's especially, though. Bean's losing some trades here. But lands a nice backstab. Kind of low damage, but pretty good. Goes for a wake up, but does not land it. Bean's playing quite aggressive here and taking quite a bit of damage for it. But he's in the HP lead, very slightly. Oh, now Bean's lost their tier. Seva's poisoned, so their tier will probably safely die out very soon. Very low chance of getting tier skips here. As long as they can play it safe. Bean goes in to punish the blue flask and lands a few follow-up hits. The guitar. Interrupts Seva's jump with another guitar hit and lands 2 or 3 more. Very nice, very fast finishing. As soon as the tier proc, it was basically over. We'll play it.
Go.
Alright, let's see. Both starting off trying to punish each other's flasks, and Seva goes for a dragon breath that gets punished out of it by Bean's aggression. Bean going for off-foil hits, very, very aggressive. Seva just trying to go for trades, which is working out decently for him at the moment. Some nice movement from Bean. Bean's still playing really aggro with guitar off flail, but gets punished quite significantly for it. So we're going for some crouch hooks. Now Seva goes for a bolus in the corner and gets punished very hard for that. Bean is just not letting up the aggression here. He's going in for attacks whenever he can. slowly chipping Seva between his right-hander hits. Lands another poison crack. Now all Bean has to do is just keep up aggression to prevent him from getting pulls off. And he punishes Seva out of the Dragon Breath. Bean's quite scary with that setup.
It's unfortunate. One, go.
So Bean's going with a poison buffed Great Club with off play. Seva immediately landing the first hit. Goes for another L1 and 2 off-coded hits. Makes a trade with Bean and lands another off-coded hit. Things are skewed in Seva's favor quite hard here at the beginning of this match. Seva goes for a trade with Bean and seems to win. Gets 3 off-coded hits. Right off, Bean is at quite the disadvantage. Seems Bean's playing a little bit safer now. Doesn't have much else of a choice. Bean going for a two-handed dagger. And going back to the beautiful Lionel chess piece. Just slowly chipping down Seva with the dagger. Bean landing consistent hits between Seva's recovery times. And now Seva going for two-handed coated. Bean is back on one-handed guitar. Landing quite a few hits there, trying to bring it back. Seva is still in the lead by a bit, but his 2 is gone now. Seva lands another coded hit, just one more and Bean could possibly be out. And the whip punishes Bean's missed running attack.
GG!
Very well played on Seva's part here.
Nice.
Nice!
Really brought a next
Go
round
fly,
back from
go
Bean.
fly!
Bean is back on guitar off flail. And Seva's starting out with a Dragon Breath, but again gets punished. It's just a little too slow here. Bean immediately going super aggro with the one-handed guitar. Seva lands an off-coded hit to try and get him to back off a bit, but Bean's going right back in there. Seva gets a trade and then lands a follow-up R1, but Bean is not letting him up. Seva is trying to get him to back off with the off-coded, which is working quite effectively. But Bean's still trying to get in there for a bolus punish. He used the throwing dagger but misses it, so no bolus punish there. Bean's still playing extremely aggressively. Just reaction rolling most of what Seva is doing. Bean goes for another running attack, lands a crouch attack into another R1, and then gets punished for trying to go with follow-up R1. But does another running R2, makes a trade, and now Seva's at very low HP with poison.
Oh!
Ultimately, Bean wins the set.
GG.
Well played.
GG! Go!
Alright, so Bron running the ornamentals and they're running his right-hander. I think ornamentals probably is the better choice for this matchup. First you're going for a trade there, but Bron jumps over the second crack poke. Goes for the running R2. Grisha trying to find an opportunity here. Bron's trying to strafe. Getting hit twice for that. Grisha free aims the Sacred Blade, which might have been the wrong choice here, considering it did miss Bron entirely. Things are looking a bit even, and Bron is now in tier skip range. If Grisha keeps the Sacred Blade up, there's a high chance of Bron getting tier skip. Grisha trying to go for an R2 there, and Bron heals up with the Rattling Claw. And ends up landing another attack on Grisha, winning this round.
GG. Nice.
Go.
Bron immediately starting out with a flash finish throwing knife, and getting his ornamental buff off successfully. Bron immediately starting in quite aggressively here. Makes a trade with Grisha, and Grisha seems to win this trade even without the ritual talisman buff. Bron lands in R1.5 with the ornamentals here, with a half hit on the second one, looks like. And throwing more throwing knives. Bron lands the jumping attack, jumping R1 from ornamentals, and a jumping R2, which is just about in range to get their tier popped. And there goes Grisha's tier. Bron's not really letting up with the aggression here. Constantly going for jump attacks. And Grisha sends him out of this one. But still gonna be a hard time for Grisha to play against ornamentals. Looks like Bron's going for a strafe and fails 3 times. Just goes for a roll catch with a follow-up R1. And wins this round as well.
Nice.
GG. Good job, Bron. Good job.
Nice. Nice.
Well played.
Very aggressive player.
Go.
Alright, Bron starting off with another throwing knife, getting rid of Grisha's talisman buff if they have it. Grisha definitely trying to go for trades here, and that's the best chance of winning, but gets roll caught by the ornamentals R1. Even though they're a more mid version of Power Stance Straight Swords, they're still quite strong. Oh, Grisha misses the crouch R1 and gets punished very heavily for it there. Bron goes for a strafe, but fails it. Grisha lands another crouch R1 and another one. And lands a third crouch R1 in a row. Does not get the roll catch with Sacred Blade, but gets the buff off successfully. Grisha carefully trying to space the jump attacks here and go for trades. Bron gets a successful strafe and then a roll catch. Grisha lands another crouch R1. Bron gets another successful strafe. This is at a very low amount of HP. Bron's going for a throwing knife, trying to as well. And lands a successful throwing knife.
Oh, GG.
Nice.
Go.
And so Sol already starting out the match with throwing knives, going for the HDS running R2, but gets quick punish for it with the off straight sword. Donel going for 3 consecutive ultra great sword R1s in a row and lands the third one. Goes for a running attack and misses. Sol using the HDS jumping R1. Going for another running R2 and hits it. Flops the 2-hand and backs off. Double rolls the standing R1. Donel going in for some wave dashing. But still keeping up the aggression with HTS. Jumps over the Ultra Great Sword attack and lands the jumping R1 into R1. Now Sol's going for off pike, swaps off it again. Going for a delayed jump R1. Goes for jump R2 read but does not get it. Gets away unpunished. Sol's playing a very safe yet aggressive playstyle here. And Donel's getting a bit of attacks in with the off straight sword. Oh, Donel gets stunned out of their jump. And gets hit by a follow-up R1. Now Donel's tier is gone. Sol goes for a swipe with the HDS R1. Now Donel is at very low HP, and Sol still has their tier. And Sol finishes off Donel with a jumping R1.
GG, good fight.
Very nice HDS game.
Yes.
Sol opening up with throwing knives and lands one this time, then goes for the running R2 and lands that. Already a good start for Sol here. Trades jumping R1 for the crouch R1. Donel trying to use the crouch R1 as keep out, but Sol can just jump over it for the most part. Sol going for off pike into running R2.
Hey, I just not read about it. Talk as soon as I can. Can you hear me?
Sol jumping over another attack and landing a jumping R1.
Hello?
It was a rather even trade. Now it seems Sol is going for aKkirAa with HDS. Lands the HDS R2 feint. Goes for a jumping R1 into off pike and lands the off pike attack. Sol has another trade with the jumping R1 and Sol still has their tier. Trying to go for roll catches. Up, Sol's tier is now gone. Does not quite get roll caught by Donel's running R1 with the greatsword. So there's one of the running R2. Does 3 attacks with the HTS R1 chain and misses all of them.
Oh,
And
GG.
lands the aKkirAa hit on Donel.
The timing is amazing. Good
Good
fight.
fight.
Go.
Sol opening with throwing knives, but doesn't land any this time. Wastes the jumping R1, and Donel does not quite get the whip punish. Good reaction roll from Sol there. Trade jumping R1 to crouch R1. Sol lands the running R2. 2 hands, goes for a feint. Looks like Sol went for a jumping R1 swipe there, but got knocked out of the air. Things are looking pretty even, but I believe Donel has a slight HP lead. So going for the R1s and then an jumping R2 read, but misses the jumping R2. Donel is now trying to play a bit aggressively and gets hit by the HTS running R2. Then gets hit by the jumping R1 and loses his tier. Still has a decent HP lead now. Lands another running R2 on Donel. Goes for off pike, lands an attack. Goes to trade with the R1 and lands a successful trade.
Oh,
And wins the set.
GG.
Nice.
Good fight. Good HDS player.
Yeah, that was quite good. You went for a few swipes there as well.
Good movement.
Very good. So, aKkirAa already landing a solid attack right at the beginning.
Yeah.
But pull up is going for quite a bit of chip damage, slowly with all sorts of different kinds of spells. Primarily slicing.
With the scout.
Seems okay. Pull up is in a bit of a HP lead, but that's changed. And going for a lot of up close trades here. Seems aKkirAa still has their tier, but has the potential of being tier skipped here with it.
My kind of player.
Oh, both very close already. So, hard process was going on so fast.
Wow.
aKkirAa gets finished off by aKkirAa and Slicer.
Oh, nice.
What happened?
Lots of fast trading.
What happened?
What happened? I have no idea what happened.
Okay, I pull up. Already landing a little bit of chip damage with the glint blades. Landing a Slicer. aKkirAa's just trying to go for trades here. It's probably the best idea. Because Slicer does pretty low amount of damage, so aKkirAa can just keep some trades up.
What were you talking about?
aKkirAa's getting consistently chipped
I did
with
that
the
once.
Slicer.
I literally did
And
that.
it's gonna be hard to play keep out without a bunch of wave dashing and good spacing and movement. You gotta try and be a bit unpredictable to create some trade situations here. He seems to be struggling quite hard with. And ultimately aKkirAa gets finished off by a series of carried Slicers. Alright, let's see if aKkirAa can switch up tactics here and try and overcome school.
Hey, sandwich mentality.
Alrighty, things are going a bit even. Okay, pull up has landed a bit of chip damage, but aKkirAa has landed a trade. aKkirAa going for some more trades, and it's skewed in aKkirAa's favor considerably here with the amount of slices they were able to land. aKkirAa going for an R2 and gets roll caught by Carrion Piercer,
But in this
but lands a follow-up R1 right after. And aKkirAa gets slicered again.
You said
No, nice. Well played.
Nice. GG.
Alright, so Uli finally gets to play now. So they do, they have the that curved grid so that you never really see. Got a kind of terrible moveset.
Stop.
What happened? Oh, you got shot.
There's
Oh, I see.
attack me. I have no idea.
Alright, I see.
Yeah, there is some people trolling you.
I think we shall change the password. I have no idea. Hey, stop.
Alright, so one of the worst curved swords in the entire game versus the ornamental straight sword. It would be cool to get a win with the curved straight sword.
last two things.
So here we have Uli and Skary. Skary getting some consistent roll catches with the ornamentals and has a swaddling cloth on for heals. Uli's finding it difficult to really do much since they're losing trades even with the bigger weapon. And using an off Warhawk talent. Oh, Uli goes for an R1 to R2 roll catch and lands a follow-up R1. That's quite good. But Skary still has their tier, and Uli ends up getting flipped by the jumping R1
GG.
from ornamentals.
Unfortunately.
So it seems Uli is also running ornamentals here, so we're going to have a Power Stance ornamental mirror. Or dual wielded, I suppose. Skary going for some delayed R1s. They both end up landing an attack right off. Both trying to get at each other with jump attacks. And Scar uses some more delayed R1s into follow-up R1s and lands a significant chunk of damage, taking out Uli's tier right off. Uli switching back to the curved greatsword. Panic rolls into an R1. And gets clipped by another R1 from the ornamentals. And does not quite get the trade as he's at her HP.
GG.
Unfortunate matchup.
GG, unfortunate.
You could have, like, sort of expected that, right?
Uli open up with some throwing knives. But Sky just talisman swaps.
You were, like,
And now Uli is running main hands, Y-hander, offhand with break sword. An interesting choice considering that pretty much every attack is going to be very easy to react to. But going for trades, he might win them. But the ornamental damage isn't too bad with the buff. So it might be hard to make a trade. Another one's an attack and the damage is quite low considering how much the ornamentals are doing.
It's imagine getting into it every day, like, yeah.
But Uli's tier is now gone. Uli lands the beast roar. Gets hit by the jumping R1 from ornamentals into a follow-up attack.
GG.
Alright, so Braun gets clipped by a man for the beginning, but he's using ornamentals, and Sol is sticking with HTS. This is going to be a bit of a rough matchup, but the length and damage of Dragon King's Crag Blade should even things out a little bit. With the counter hits, making it so he might win some trades. Seems he might be waiting the buff out here by playing quite carefully. It'll be difficult for Braun to get that buff off again mid-fight, so waiting it out is a good choice. He's taking safe with punishes with the off-pike, and reaction rolling the jumping attacks. Goes for the R2 feint, but doesn't seem to land it, and gets clipped by the ornamentals R1. I think he got fully hit there, not half hit. Lands a successful attack on Braun there. Seems... Oh, Sol gets clipped by another jump attack. And they go for a trade. HP is about even here. Lands an off-bike attack. Braun going for a lot of jump attacks here. And Sol lands the R1 into off-bike. L1. Goes for the running R2 and lands it. Panic rolls a few times, but does not get roll caught. Braun's R1s. But Braun clips him with another one just barely in range. They both lost their tier at this point, and Braun gets a jumping attack neutral jump. Braun going for a lot of jump attacks. Delayed R1 after jump roll catch. And now Sol is at very low HP. Clips Braun with a jumping R1 and gets clipped by the unreactable jump attack from ornamentals. Braun buffing but sacrificing the talisman buff for the throwing knives and then gets clipped by the running R2, even after the talisman swap. Sol lands 2 solid R1s, so Braun lands 2 jumping attacks there. HP is still even, and Braun seems to have switched a little bit in his favor by landing an additional jumping R2. Both miss each other. Braun goes right over them. Both continuing miss, and Braun lands the 4th R1 in the R1 chain of ornamentals. Means Sol's tier is now procced, and Braun still has his tier. Panic rolling the Power Stance Threat Sword R1's there, and gets clipped by a half hit. Oh, gets hit just barely in range twice, and gets clipped on a trade there. It's quite an unfortunate matchup. It's going to be very rough to play against for HTS. So it seems Sol has swapped the off-bike to off-bandit curved sword. Still hitting Braun with throwing knives when he goes for the buff. But it doesn't seem Bron is helmet swapping this time. Goes for the jumping R1 on ornamentals and lands both hits. Or 2 upgrade. Bron goes right over the jumping R2 and flips Sol in the air. Sol misses the running R2. And gets hit out of the air again by a jump from Bron. But Sol manages to barely clip Bron with an R1, just barely in range. Bron's playing quite defensively here and making it very difficult for Sol to really get much damage in. Go for a trade, and Sol's tier procs. Bron successfully strikes the running R2 and punishes Sol. Goes for another trade, and Sol has very, very low HP now. Successfully reaction rolls another R1 after hitting Bron. Lands the off curved sword hit, but then gets hit on a trade.
Very aggressive. Good job.
So Bron wins this set. Alright, so Ellie's running HTS and Bean with his aKkirAa off flail. Ellie immediately doing good with the jumping R1s from HTS. We'll just have to see if Bean can keep aggressive enough with aKkirAa off like he was in the previous matches. Thus far, it seems Ellie's in a decent lead. Bean's landing a couple attacks and lands the off flail attack after 2 aKkirAas going. Ellie goes for the running R2. Bean strafes it and lands 3 attacks while backstabbing the failed backstab attempt from Ellie. Bean's doing quite well. Got a poison proc. Ellie's tier seems to be popped, and Bean still has tier. Goes for the ball's punish but misses it. He's now wearing fire buff on the aKkirAa. Ellie's trying to find some good attack opportunities here, but it's kind of hard to get in with all those fast attacks. And Bean's tier is now popped. Ellie landing some nice hits with the HTS standing R1s and ends up winning.
Go.
Got Bean opening up with a throwing knife that misses. And rolling, jumping R1s to get hit with a follow-up R1. Bean gets some chip damage in, but makes it out while sustaining a hit from the HTS R1. Bean lands the running R2 into 2 R1s. And Ellie gets him back with a R1 from the heavy thrusting sword. Ellie gets a successful bolus off without being punished. Goes for the running R2 and hits the very edge of the hitbox on Bean. Bean whiffs a few attacks and does not get clipped by the follow-up R1 after jumping R1 from HTS. Ellie misses the running R2 and Bean punishes. It's 2 hits. Some good spacing from Bean and leads to some trades. They both still have their tier, but it could pop any moment now. Both playing a bit more carefully now that they're down to a tier. Go for a trade, and Ellie still has his tier, while Bean does not. Bean gets hit by 2 more R1s. He's just a hit away from death. Bean misses the running R2 and gets hit by the 3rd swing from the HTS.
Oh,
Damn.
GG.
GG, nice.
Nice.
Let's see if Bean can make a comeback with his aKkirAa off flail setup. Eli starting out with running out 2, but Bean successfully dodges it. Eli going for another swipe, but it was way too far out of range. But lands the follow-up R1. Bean immediately in the corner here. And trying to backpedal away from Ellie's jumping R1s.
I don't have the stuff to
The range and damage difference is going to make this quite difficult for Bean to do anything.
Oh yeah.
Ellie's playing very aggressive here, while Bean's just trying to back up and get some space to maybe outspace some of the attacks, and he gets clipped by another R1. Gets hit by the backswing after a jump R1. And lands the running R2, goes for a roll catch, but Ellie's out of range. Range difference here seems quite significant and difficult for Bean to play around. Go for a trade, but Bean loses that by a decent margin. Well, he's occasionally doing some R1s, making it difficult for Bean to really get in and do much. At least without resulting in a trade that he's going to lose. Gets hit by the very, very edge of the R1 hitbox there. Ellie lands a swipe, jump R1, and Bean is just about to get his tier cracked. His tears popped now. But he lands a roll catch backstab when Ellie was rolling out unlocked. Lands several R1s and R2s on Ellie. And is somewhat even the HP amounts. But Bean is still at risk of losing trades. Even with the poison proc.
Oh, I don't think so.
Bean's trying to play it very safe here and look for another opportunity like he just got. But it's going to be very difficult to find another opening like that one. Bean knocks Ellie out of the air. Ellie goes for that R2 but misses and aims it away. Goes for the running R2 but Bean rolls it. Bean's still looking for a good, safe opening here. And Ellie's just trying to keep him away. This referee I'm running R2. Bean gets clipped by another jump R1. Ellie misses the running R2 and gets hit by 2 aKkirAa attacks from Bean. It's very close, 1 to 2 hits away on either side. Bean going for some safe aggression, now they're both about 1 hit away. Bean using throwing knives, lands one of them but misses the rest. Going for more. Bull's trying to play extremely safe here. Ellie's trying to leap in. Bean successfully dodges the jumping R1. Bean lands another throwing knife. Just one more throwing knife might just do the trick. 1 or 2. Bean successfully reaction rolling under the pressure. Using more knives. And he barely takes out Ellie that one. Bean really fought for that one, but he got it. That was well played.
Very good
GG.
fight.
Bean still has a chance to bring this back. It's going to be considerably hard work considering the matchup. Alright, so now Bean's sticking with two-handed dagger and Ellie's still sticking with HTS. Bean's using some careful spacing here and gets put by the standing armor from HTS anyway. Bean lands a little bit of chip damage, but the damage from Dragon King's Crag Blade is still working out quite well for trades for Ellie. Bean seems to be backing off a bit here now. You're just waiting for a solid opening. My guess is he's going to use the dagger to try and get another backstab. As Eli seems to be doing quite a few running R2s. If he gets a successful strafe, that could be quite a lot of damage. I think he's consistently chipping down Eli while Eli's consistently landing R1s. Everyone's jumping R1 just barely in range on Bean. Goes for a swipe but doesn't quite turn around all the way and gets punished with 3 to 4 dagger attacks because of it. Bean's keeping calm under pressure and successfully reaction rolling up close. Now Eli swaps back to the whip. That's an interesting choice. I think it could work out quite well considering the short range of the dagger. But we'll just have to see how well Bean can keep up aggression. And Bean lands 2 attacks with the dagger. Runs a jumping attack. And Eli goes for lightning ram, but Bean was able to reaction roll both hits from it. Now Eli's back to HTS and in the corner. Eli escapes the corner and Bean is facing after him. He gets hit by the side of the hitbox from the HTS running R2. He's on the wrong side for striking it. Looks like Eli doesn't have his tier anymore and Bean just lost his tier.
Oh, there's a big
Bean gets clipped by another jumping R1. Eli has the HP lead here, but Bean could bring it back with either a good backstab or some more good aggression like he's been keeping up. He gets 3 solid attacks on Eli, bringing the HP back to even. Bean's at very low HP now, but Eli's not at an impossible amount of HP. And now Eli pulls out the dagger, needing only 1 hit, whereas Bean would need maybe 3 to 4. And Eli's swapping back to HTS, giving Bean a bit more of a chance here. Perfume. And now throwing knives like Bean was doing in the previous round. And Bean ends up getting clipped by an up close perfume. It was very close. And Bean did well. Eli did well as well too. They both played very well. It was some very exciting matches. Very back and forth.
Both are very good players.
Very true. Now with the glintstones up, aKkirAa is able to successfully get a flask off. Immediately going for a trade here. aKkirAa has a very trade-heavy playstyle with this build, and it's worked out for them throughout the earlier portions of the tournament. Let's see how it fares against ornamentals. HP lead is pretty even thus far, landing trades on both sides. Pull-up gets clipped by a hit from the jumping attack. And it goes for a Carrion Piercer, which lands without any trade happening, any trade interaction. Skary is definitely backing off a bit more now, knowing that he take 1/3 of his HP in 1 Piercer. Corner pull up and got a bit of chip damage, seemingly a half hit from the jumping R2. aKkirAa goes for a trade there multiple times, and then goes for a jump attack read, but none of them are successful, and loses a significant portion of their HP for it. And pull-up gets finished off by 2 swings from the ornamentals.
Good fight.
Yeah, good fight. aKkirAa getting punished for the flask this time, and gets it with 3 follow-up attacks. Things are already looking pretty bad for aKkirAa here, and pretty good for Skary. Skary goes for the R2, but misses it, and gets chipped by a slicer attack from pull-up. Pull-up going for some wave dash, crouch R1s with slicer. And goes for a piercer, but movement from Skary. He manages to just barely miss it. Goes for 3 more attacks and some roll catches. Okay, Pull-Up is trying to cause some more trades here, but it's very low HP. It doesn't work out for them. Okay. Let's see if Pull-Up goes. Pull-Up does not go for a blue flask, considering what happened last time, and they both go for a trade right at the start. Pull-Up is playing quite more carefully than they have been previously here, as trading has not really worked out very much against buffed ornamentals. If they were to get out the buff, it might help somewhat, but it's still going to be very difficult. Another trade interaction, but okay, Pull-Up does not end up victorious in damage. Oh, but lands another 2 slicer swings, evening things out a little bit more. Looks like Pull-Up swapping to aKkirAa off staff. An interesting choice. Pull-Up is trying to find a good opportunity to attack here, but it's going to be difficult with Skary constantly doing jump R2s. Just has to kind of wait it out and wait for Skary to make a mistake. Skary still keeping up with consistent and somewhat safe aggression, with the low recovery jump attacks. Gets clipped by 2 swings from the aKkirAa. Barely misses Pull-Up with a jumping R2 and gets clipped by a slicer. Hits him with another jumping R2. And Pull-Up roll catches Skary with a carrying piercer. That's quite significant.
Wow.
And ends him with the glint blade swords. Very nice.
Very nice. GG.
Nice.
The last 2
Good
interactions they really
moments.
turned the tables. Yeah.
The end of the round was cool.
Yeah, nice roll catch with carrying piercer into the glint blades when cornered. Turned out very well. Bob going for the flask this time, and doesn't even get hit by the throwing knife from Skary. Bob is back to 2-handed staff. Immediately starting out the round like a trade, like the last few matches. I gets coupled with part of the running attack from the Mercenary Straight Swords. Both playing a little bit more carefully this time, though still going for trades here and there, mostly from Pull-Up. And Pull-Up gets well caught by the R1 into another R1. Very close Skary with the edge hitbox of Slicer and lands another follow-up Slicer after the fourth break. Okay, Pull-Up is playing very carefully now. There's a little chance they can come back. Oh, and they get clipped by the jumping R2 there while putting up the glint blades. Things are definitely skewed in Skary's favor here. Pull-Up goes for another carrying piercer. If it doesn't work out, and panic rolls and gets caught by the R1 in straight swords. Pull-Up's at quite low HP here. One more hit, even a half hit will probably finish them off. Whereas Skary still has their tier up. So going for the jumping R1 into R1 twice and finish it off. Okay, Pull-Up. It was a good run. Pull-Up played well and brought that one match back.
Good
With quite a
fight.
fun,
Good fight.
visually pleasing gimmick.
This time, when we have time to do magic, was very proactive.
Yep.
Go.
So Eli immediately starting with attempting to land a frostbite, buff punish Bron, but doesn't quite work out. Bron barely is clipped by the edge of the hitbox twice from the running R2. Had some range of work there. It's gonna be a rough matchup for Eli, but The trade shouldn't be too bad from Dragon King's Blade to unbuffed ornamentals at least. If Eli can wait out the buff, it'll be a lot more tolerable. Goes for a nice swipe there, goes for weapon art, and successfully lands it as a trade. It's a very good read
nice
there.
move.
Goes for another very clean swipe and lands 2 more consecutive R1s. That was very, very clean.
Oof. That was good.
Eli successfully lands the Frostpot punish here. And lands 2 R1s with the extra damage negation. Debuff from the Frostpot. One lands in an R1. Things are definitely going in Eli's favor at the beginning of this match already. Bron flips Eli midair. Successfully jumps over and lands a full-on jumping R1, all 3 hits of it. This match is going a bit more even now. I was trying to go for some swipe R1s, but Bron's reading the location and seemingly free aiming at times to catch where Eli's landing. Bron has a very nice read there with the running R2 and successfully lands a jumping R2 without taking any damage. And there's a very, very clean spacing there on the running R2 from Bron.
1-1. Go. Good luck.
Oh, it does not start out with the successful buff punish this time. Bron lands the 3rd swing from the R1 chain. Goes for the jumping attack but misses. Eli goes for a standing R1, then gets hit by the jumping R1 right afterwards into a normal R1. I think Bron still hasn't taken damage yet. He's doing quite well. Eli's about half HP, but with the tier still up. Eli going for some HTS swipes there. Lands 2 standing R1s on Bron. Goes for another 2 R1s and successfully gets it while reaction rolling out of the R1 swing. Bron goes for a delayed R1 to get a roll catch, but Eli successfully manages to double roll it. Bron's definitely creating quite a bit of pressure on Eli here. Goes for a jumper to read, but Eli misses the attack. Bron lands the full 3-hit combo from the jumping R1. And Eli gets back with the weapon art. And a very good read there. They both still have their tier. Bron jumps right over the R1s and doesn't manage to punish Eli's R1. Bron going for another throwing knife. Jumps over the perfume and manages to land a jumping R2. Lands the follow-up R1.
Wow.
Eli misreads it and gets clipped by an R1.
Nice.
Bron's tier gets procced. Bron gets hit by another carefully spaced R1 2 more times. Both jump and both miss. Bron goes for, or gets a failed backstab there. And barely scrapes out this match.
Good fight.
That was close. Good fight.
Very close.
GG.
Eli's playing quite well here with HDS. The range and damage difference between Ornamentals and Dragon King's Cragblade is quite significant, and enough to bring the matchup up to be a little tolerable compared to normal Power Stance Straight Swords versus HDS.
Good luck.
Both open up with throwing knives. Eli gets hit by 1. Bron's immediately trying to play a bit aggressive here, put some pressure on Eli. Both go for jump attacks. Bron lands his, and 2 more attacks afterwards. Though he got hit with the weapon art, it was a fairly even trade. Bron goes for delayed jumping R1 and lands the entire hit. And is able to successfully roll to the side to avoid being hit with the weapon arm. Eli might be over-relying on the weapon arm at this point. He's losing HP. Goes for a missed swipe there. Bron has some more spacing on that attack, but still ends up allowing Eli to roll away. While clipping Eli with another jumping attack. Bron goes for another delayed jumping attack, but this time it misses. Goes for a jump R2, but Eli reaction rolls it, and is able to space it with a 180 swipe. And goes for another weapon art trade, but ends up ultimately getting hit before he can land it.
Good fight.
Yeah, good fight. Alright, so we've got an ornamental straight sword mirror here. This is going to be a very passive reaction roll based, I guess, and a lot of trades. So immediately starts out with trade and they both talisman swap at almost the same time.
Oh, it's not edgy.
Bron lands 2 attacks and successfully reaction rolls away. It's a little bit of a trade, seemingly Bron got half hit there, but not for very much at all. Bron lands the jumping R1 and a follow-up R1 after that. Bron's in a significant HP lead here, but Skary still has their tier. Bron gets clipped by the backswing of the R1 chain. Misses the jumping R1. Goes for 2 jumping R2s and clips Skary on the second one. Skary's now out of a tier and takes 2 R1s. But lands the third R1 from the chain and lands 2 more R1s after that, almost roll catching Bron, but Bron's able to escape.
Wow.
And barely gets clipped again when going for a trade.
Good fight.
That's a bit back and forth. Yeah, good fight. Both going to buff at about the same time. Bron trying to that's jumping out too, but Skary's keep out. Gets some chipped for it. Both playing a bit more carefully than they would last time. That's some good spacing with Skary to land a solid hit. And then they get chipped for a half hit. And are able to talisman swap away, so they're back at full HP. Though it's a lower amount of HP, though. But they get their talisman buffs again. Oh, Skary gets hit on the backswing and looks like another half hit. And then gets hit by a partial hit from the jumping R1. Is able to outspace Bron and then land a follow-up R1. Bron jumps over Skary and lands a tiny bit of the jumping R1. And with her funky mash. And Bron lands the entirety of the jump R1 and then 2 follow-up R1s entirely. Goes for 2 more R1s and successfully lands both of them as soon as Skary lands.
Wow. Very clean. Good job.
GG.
Yeah, nicely done.
GG.
Bron goes for a throwing knife punish before going for his own ornamental buff, which is a smart decision, as it gets rid of Skary's shield buff. Things are going about even now. Bron's swapped talismans. Skary still hasn't done that, I believe. Both thoughtfully spacing each other here. Both land a jumping attack one after the other. Every time that Skary jumps over Bron wants to turn around completely and land 1 to 2 R1s at least. Bron's definitely doing a bit better here now. But they both still have their tiers. Bron goes for delayed jumping R1 and misses. Skary does the same and also misses. Skary lands 2 attacks while Bron's in the corner, and Bron follows it up and lands a chip hit from backswing, half hit. Skary still has their tier, and Bron does not. Bron panic rolls, but does not get caught for the first roll. Like, gets barely clipped for the second, or sorry, the third, I guess. Now Skary's out of a tier, but still has the HP lead. Block waggling, causing Bron to panic roll, but Bron doesn't get punished for it. Bron still had a little bit of an HP disadvantage. Now they're both at about the same amount of HP. And Bron, with some careful whiff punishing, is able to finish out the match successfully.
GG.
Well played.
Well played.
Very
Very
good
nice.
rounds so far.
Very solid.
I think Bron had a misinput there and didn't end up getting the ornamental buff off or a throwing dagger in that time. Bron turning around every time that Skary jumps. It works quite well, but this time it ended up in a trade. Ends a solid jumping R2. Goes for a delayed jumping R1 and it ends up being a trade. But things are still relatively even. And now Skary has a decent HP lead after those trades. Both players still have their tiers. Good reaction roll from Skary there. Decent spacing on the jumping attack results in a trade at the end, but only after Skary's landed 2 hits. We go for some more monkey mashing there. Bron's at quite low HP now. Bron's playing it very carefully here, as Skary still has their tier, and Skary just lost their tier, but Bron is just a throwing knife away from death. And Bron got finished off by a throwing knife.
Why? Bron
Nice.
roll.
Nice.
Nice.
Alright, this time Bron does not... Oh, he does misinput the physic again, without putting his buff on. But does not get punished for it, and was able to successfully punish Skary with the throwing knife. Skary going for delayed R1, but Bron successfully reaction rolls it, and then gets hit by the jumping R1 from Skary. Bron lands the jumping R1, lands the jumping R2. Skary goes for delayed jump R1, but Bron successfully dodges all of it. Bron's playing very safe aggression this round. Barely gets clipped by the rolling R1 from Skary. Careful spacing with punish Skary. Gets away by mistiming the roll, but only gets half hit for it. Bron going for some safe jump R2s and just waiting for Skary to make another mistake. Skary's trying to go for some trades here, but now Skary's out of a tier and is more likely to die as the result of a trade. Bron gets stunned midair. Bron tries to go back in there, but is now very low HP again, because by a half hit even. And gets clipped by the running attack. Skary's beginning to bring it back here.
GG.
GG.
3-2 now. Just got mine.
That still sounds nice. Alright, they're both going for the ornamental buff, and this time Bron does not miss input with throwing knife. I'm just waiting and using some delayed R1s to try and roll catch Skary, but Skary's reaction rolling. Both go for a bit of trading there. Skary lands a fairly in range jumping R1. Goes for the third R1 and flips Bron. Hits Bron out of the air again. Bron's carefully whiff punishing his opponent here. Lands another R1 and a follow-up R1 when Skary jumps. Bron does not end up reaction rolling or rolling at all there. Gets clipped again. Skary's tier seems to be popped, but Bron still has his tier. Skary barely clips Bron with the final hit of the jumping R1 and procs his tier. Bron ends up rolling, panic rolling the unreactable jumping R1 from Skary and gets clipped for it. It's able to find a follow-up attack. And Bron flips Skary this time with the unreactable jump attack. He's going for safe throwing knives now.
Wow.
And is able to land the jumping R1.
GG.
Bringing Bron up to 4 points.
Oh,
Well
nice.
played.
Nice.
One more point and Bron could win, but Skary still has a chance to bring this back. It'll be a bit rough, but 3 more matches and they can do it.
Strange, Oma, I can hear your commentary. So close. Go fight!
Oh, sorry.
Brown lands a throwing knife punish and gets his buff off successfully. Skye tries to use the L1 to make Braun panic, but Braun successfully reaction rolls it. Braun lands the punish as soon as Sky's jump ends. Braun jumps and completely misses it, but doesn't get punished. This time he gets punished for the jump. Skye does not land the backswing and gets outspaced by Braun. Both playing carefully here, but not fully passive. Braun lands another attack. This one a jumping attack, but Skye reaction rolls it. Skye tries to make Braun panic, but Braun doing pretty well here with his control. Braun punishes the throwing knife with a jumping R2 and lands 2 more R1s after that. Skye got very low HP, but still has the tier. And now the tier is popped, and Braun lands another R1 after that. Braun has a significant HP lead here. Jumps, trades, and ends up finishing him off.
Wow!
Winning 5-3.
Nice.
Congratulations!
Very well played.
Nice!
Matches were very back and forth.
Well played.
Well done.
Very well played. Congratulations! Yay! I'll win the game on the road again!
A very lucky cat.
Good job, buddy. You play very well too.
Yeah, both players great.
Yeah,
Very good
it's very
players.
interesting to watch.
I also have the ring. What? Oh my! Yeah, point down, Oma.
Yeah, perfect screenshot.
Thank you so much for watching the tournaments, buddy. I hope you all enjoy the event.